Hey everybody, how you doing tonight? Hey, woo-hoo! Thanks so much for coming out. I'm Janine Walker. So are there any fans of summer out there? Sort of, just sort of, right? Yeah. I really love summer. It's great. It's a time when you can just breathe easy. Yeah, thanks. No, I really do love it. I feel so laid back in summer. I don't worry about anything. Nothing really bothers me. It's a time when the grass blissfully turns brown, so I don't have to do any mowing. When it's okay to be woken up by a car horn alarm and a dog barking and a hydroplane buzzing like a giant mosquito over the nearby lake. You can just roll over and go back to sleep. And it's the only time when it's hot and sunny enough to go outside in Seattle. But, of course, there's a damper on it right now, which is if you go outside. It's so smoky, the smoke coming from Canada, of all places, which I thought was supposed to be the good one. But the sun's obscured, and going outside without a face mask on means almost immediately having to hack up something from your lungs. Kind of gross, but going outside with a face mask on seems to be untenable. Has anyone done that? Yeah. Well, I used to live in Asia, so I did that all the time, but we don't do that here. But actually, I appreciate the smoke because it supports my my habit of gardening never at all. It's like you're not supposed to go outside, so that's pretty good. And I thought it was working fine for us until I ran into a neighbor the other day at our night out block party, and he hadn't really even said hello before he launched right into this, hey, I'll help you out with your garden if you want. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool, that'd be cool. But he couldn't stop, and he's like, don't take this personally, but I could come over and help you out. I'm like, yeah, that's great, thank you. And he's just like, yeah, you could come over to my side of the street and you could look and say, oh, this is what he looks at every day. And then I started to understand that his main concern was not really for my garden, but for the diminishing property value his place was experiencing every second that we continued to have our garden like that. And then he kept going, it could be an easy fix. It's free labor, 5 hours of free labor. It's a total easy fix. Let's just talk about it. And he kept going. And then I was like, yeah, I get it. Say no more. We're good. And then he looked at his roommate and was like, want to go? So they left, and I was pretty sure that the only reason they came out was to deliver this news, which obviously had been welling up inside of him for a really long time. But I'm not offended at all. Gardening is definitely not my thing. But the next day I did have a new method. I took my weed whacker and my hand-held garden hoe, and I whacked everything I could, and I pounded the crap out of our flower beds by the front porch to remove every single weed. And now our house looks like a 9-year-old Alaskan Malamute who's been shaved too closely by an irresponsible groomer and stands naked and shivering, waiting to be greeted by his owners. So, we got a great crowd here. Thank you guys for coming out. I actually had a friend who told me that they couldn't come out because, quote, we've been advised to not spend too much time outside because of the smoke, and we're going to be at Seafair all day. So I figure like the 10 minutes it would take to come inside the Royal Room would be too much for them. But, whatever. Seafair, as far as I'm concerned, Seafair is a bunch of pirates calling a truce for a day so they can dock their boats up next to each other and sell for next to nothing all the crap that they stole from you. Should be called flea fair, in my opinion. Get your women's undies. Get your petticoat, cheap. Get your virginity over here. That was a bad one, sorry guys. But all along some mega warships from the Navy are flying around overhead, but they're not going to save you. They're like, please, you want to help with pirates? Call the Coast Guard. But in the meantime, check out this wicked barrel roll. Woohoo! And then they're like, damn, these smoking Canadians sure are making it tough to see. And Canada's up there all like, yeah, maybe now you show us some respect. Hosers. Sorry, I had to say hosers. Does anyone say that anymore in Canada? Well, it is what it is. I admire Seafair in a way because it's a compound word. And that's inventive, so I guess I'm in. In governance news, Attorney General Jeff Sessions said he's cracking down on leaking. And in a related story, sales of Always Extra Dry have seen a significant increase in the past few days. You guys know what that is? Well, Always Extra Dry, I have to say, I don't hate the idea of it. I mean, Depends, that's one thing. I wouldn't want a box of Depends delivered to my doorstep out in the open where everyone could see it. I mean, I'm not there yet, but Always, that's fine. I mean, I've been wearing Always since I was 12 years old, you know, most women have. I don't care if the leaking is a slightly different thing. I mean, the thing is, I always have to go to the bathroom every 30 minutes. Any other ladies in here in that category? Don't be shy. I know it to be true. I'm looking at you, Flanagan. And this is every day I'm talking about, not just a few days out of the month, right? It's every day. I have to go all the time. So the other day I was at a yoga class, and I came upon this, like, I really had to go, and I'd gone right before class started, but I had to pee again, and I was like lying there marveling on this revelation. If I'd only worn an Always Extra Dry, I could go right now, and then get immediately back to focusing on my breathing. But, you know, I bet the joke's actually on me. I bet all the women here are like, yeah, Janine, we've been on that train for years. What took you so long? You think I'm going to miss a second of the show to use the bathroom? No. Well, I'd be in for the Always Extra Dry, except for the fact that my husband would think it's gross. Just another way the men are keeping us down. So, you know, if you ever feel concerned about women not having enough of a voice in the workplace, just turn on the 4:30 news. I recently turned to King 5 Local News. I don't know if there are any King 5 Local News fans out there. Not surprisingly, there's half of one. But, you know, the national news has been so depressing, so I was like, let's just check out the local news and see what's going on. And I was pleasantly surprised that it is indeed a land run by women. There are 2 women anchors, a female meteorologist, a woman political correspondent doing the stereotypically male job of crunching the numbers, a phrase she repeated at least 5 times in order to prove the election results. There was a woman reporting on another woman who's severely dehydrated and had just been rescued with her dog after they got lost on a hiking trail. A woman reports on an adoption surprise, troubled teens, the usefulness of Zillow. It's a woman who's interviewing Al Gore. So I felt proud, you know, I'm like, this is great, very woman-centered. And incidentally, this is where I did first learn about Always Extra Dry, from a woman in a commercial who was about to throw a dinner party with no worries whatsoever due to Always Extra Dry. And I thought, I throw dinner parties. Actually, the whole news only had one male anchor who it seemed was exiled to Everett, which he said is in triple digits right now, the temperature is. And he was forced to interview the ice cream lady. Clearly being told to play the clown. He, wearing khakis, spent the majority of the interview putting on and taking off these giant neon sunglasses like a 9-year-old and begging to no avail that the woman let him drive her truck. And it was revealed that she makes about $500 a day selling ice cream to kids at the park, and that she's been at it for over 20 years. And her one soundbite on how she does so well out here, quote, "It doesn't hurt to be a grandma selling ice cream. I do a lot better than the men." And the programming on right after the news was a football game from the archives. And if I had missed the fact that commercials would have clued me in, because it went from the other ones to suddenly Costco air conditioners, the fact that the Eagles and the Doobie Brothers are coming to play at Safeco Field, and yet another new reeking of desperation product from Domino's Pizza, Parmesan dusted bread twists. Poor Domino's. They actually have these commercials where someone looks at the camera and says, "I spent my college savings to open a Domino's." And it just makes me feel bad. Anyway, long story. Anyway, it's not all a bastion of feminist success for women on the local news, though. There will inevitably be conflicts. And as far as I could tell from the side eyes and the not so subtle ways that they talked over each other, I think the big faux pas of the day was that both of the main anchor women were wearing pink. Hot pink. And you know, on TV, you're supposed to wear bright, solid colors because patterns and stripes don't really work with the camera so well. And I could tell, I mean, I've been a woman for a while, so I sort of got the subtext, you know. I could tell that they hadn't both agreed to wear this color. They weren't happy about the fact that they both chose it. And I could just picture like the first one out of there after the segment, stealing the other one's clothes and running over to Seafair and saying, "Pink blazer, get your hot pink blazer for cheap." Thanks, Kathleen. All right, well, thank you. I'm having a great time already. I hope you are warming up to having a great time as well. We're here at Mixed Bag tonight, and we've got a great show ahead of you. We're going to kick it off with a Drop Shadows few songs. So we're going to bring Steve Maurer up here.